How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. We ended up having a pullback in the market as a whole, and of course it was impacted by this. We have the 10-year that is spiking, and this has an impact on growth stocks. And we also saw Tesla pull back big time. Again, a lot of things happen. I'm going to update you guys in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. I want to make sure you're prepared. And then we're going to be taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $39.41, being down 3.71%. On the low, it tested $38.38, and then on the high, testing $41.29. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 30.105 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 33.527 million shares. So what you notice right away, we did have below average volume, and we also did see a pullback in Lucid stock. We saw Tesla pull back a good amount on the day, and this impacted the whole entire EV sector. And we also got to take into consideration the market, but we'll talk about that further in the later parts of the video. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 47.63. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are above the 200-day, the 100-day, we are below the 50-day, and we also are below the 21-day EMA, which is at $40.13. So like I was saying in the previous video, I wanted to see Lucid make that move into the $42 range, $42.50 to be exact, so we can confirm this stock could be ready to break out even more. We did not end up getting that. We ended up seeing a high of $41.29, and taking into consideration the market conditions, we ended up dipping and pulling back all the way to $38.38. And remember what I was saying in that previous video, that we want to see Lucid being able to hold up at least 37 or 38. The fact that we held up 38 on the day and we're able to push back up and close at 39.41 is still promising. The stock still looks good, and what I look at it as, it is just consolidation that is happening. So you're going to want to continue to keep an eye on it, but just know that Lucid does move with the market. If the market is strong, we can look forward to seeing Lucid getting back into the $40 range. If the market continues to show weakness for tech stocks, then we could see it pull back even more, and we could potentially break through the $38 level, which I'm going to be looking for some strength when it goes down into the 37s. So let's see how Lucid performs for tomorrow. Hope you guys found this helpful. Now let's get into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 53.96%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 13.69 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 55,000, updated 26 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 5.97%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 31st, it was at 57.18. And then for the close of the 3rd, which was yesterday, it was at 53.96. So what this tells us, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, but we did see a reduction in the short volume, which is also good to see because it shows as far as market sentiment is concerned, it is getting better. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 179, and then on the outflow, it was 256. When we take a look at the breakdown even further, it was 0 on the large, on the medium, it was 86.42, and then on the small, it was 92.59. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 2.35, and then on the medium, it was 128, and then on the small, it was 126. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for January the 4th today, it ended up being the negative outflow of 2.35 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders, which tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which we just covered, which potentially could represent institutions, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.84%. So this is not too bad whatsoever, but we just have to keep in mind of the market conditions. When you have the 10-year spiking and you're in a growth stock, it is going to be pulling back. Growth stocks become more expensive for institutions to start taking positions in. So this is where they're going to end up starting to scale back. This can provide opportunities for those that are looking for the dip, but it's one thing to be aware of because we are going to be looking forward to even more factors coming for the year of 2022, which I'm going to be talking about inside of the final thoughts. So let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, the pullback we saw inside of the market was not surprising whatsoever considering the market conditions. We had the 10-year spiking, and this has a negative impact on growth stocks, especially the stocks that trade at high valuations. And Lucid, since they have not come out with their first earnings report as of yet, and we know they're not going to be profitable right away, we're going to end up seeing a pullback. We also did see Tesla pull back big time as well, and this is going to have an impact on the EV sector as a whole. And you also have to think about the year 2022. We're going to be facing interest rate increases, and this is going to have an impact on the stock market. So this is why it's very important that you're maximizing your entries and only put your money in stocks that you have high conviction in. Do your homework, do your due diligence. In regards to the price action, as this week progresses, if we have more weakness in the market when it comes to tech stocks, you want to see Lucid being able to hold up at least $37 or right around the area which we talk about, around $36.50. Breaking through those levels, we start seeing some weakness, and then we go to 35s, and again, it could start looking bleak from there, but continue to keep an eye on that. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. Many shorts are vested in this play, and I'm not surprised about it considering the environments that we're going to be going into for this year. And this is why I've said in my videos, Lucid has a lot to prove, especially living up to its current valuation. So don't be naive and say, well, you know what, stocks only go up. They are going to have their ups and downs, and this is why you have to take advantage of those dips when they present themselves to build out your position. But again, do this confidently. I know I sound like a broken record here, but I don't want you guys making the same mistakes you made in 2021 and carrying it over into 2022. It's all about having great habits. And as far as for the bullish case scenario, I forgot to talk about that. Of course, you want to see Lucid have that momentum, getting into that $40 range where it was just recently, and then making that move above $42.50. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.